Hello and welcome to episode 60 of the HHH Racing Podcast. This is the Pick 5 at the Spa segment. I'm your host, Howard Kravitz. Thank you so much for joining me. Tonight we have another great show as we are going to preview tomorrow's late Pick 5 at Saratoga on Wednesday. If you're new to the show, please make sure you subscribe on the right side of the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, last time I checked, 399 subscribers? Just one short of 400? Come on, I know there are people, because I get information about the show and the viewers. I know there are plenty of you out there that watch the show, but you have not subscribed yet. It's really easy. All you got to do is hit that button on the bottom right side of the screen and then hit the notification bell after you do that so you know when new content will arise on the show. It's that simple. Also, and I don't talk about this enough, please make sure you pound that like button, that thumbs up button below the video player. That tells YouTube that there are a lot of people interested in the show. It will create the HHH Racing Podcast some more views on YouTube when people search for Saratoga. So please make sure you hit that like button. I greatly appreciate it. You can reach me on Twitter at hkravitz, or you can reach me through email hkravitzhorse at gmail.com. A lot of ways to get in touch with me. Before I do a little bit of other promoting, let me talk about this week. We have a huge week coming up. Very big week here on the show. So please look at the bottom of the screen there. We have live streams all this week. Next week, or excuse me, this week, tomorrow is our next live stream. We're going to go a little bit earlier tomorrow. I have a family obligation at the normal time at 9 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to go 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow to cover the late Pick 5 Thursday at Saratoga. If you cannot join me live at 7 p.m. Tomorrow Eastern Standard Time, please watch the show later tomorrow night or Thursday before the Thursday Pick 5. Then on Thursday, our regular flagship HHH Racing Podcast show, our featured show, we're going to have derbyologist Craig Johnson. He's excellent handicapper. He's very well known on Twitter and YouTube, etc. He's been handicapping for a long time. Excited to have Craig Johnson, the famed derbyologist, will be on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, our regular scheduled time. Then, right after that show, immediately following that show, at approximately 9:30, we will do the Pick 5 at the Spot preview for Friday. And then Friday and Saturday, we'll go back to our regular Pick 5 at the Spot time at 9 p.m. Eastern. So some slight adjustments to the show. Please make sure you join us all this week for everything Saratoga and horse racing. Greatly appreciate it. And once again, I have a race day blog. If you want to find out about that, there's the information. Hope you join the race day blog. We have a growing number of people with excellent content covering not only the featured sequence, but also other Pick 5s and featured races throughout the country. And then, of course, Canterbury Park, who's on a actually 1 week hiatus. So I get a little break. They have a big music festival going on this weekend. They're actually not racing this week, but Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays every week of the summer, except this week, I write for InTheMoneyPodcast.com, and I have I cover Canterbury Park on their blog. You can see my picks there. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into the late Pick 5 for tomorrow, Wednesday. We see we already have a comment on the screen. Jim, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yes, you were one of the first, Jim. I had a chance to talk to you right away, also on the phone, if I recall. So, Jim, I appreciate your loyalty, and all other great loyal viewers on the show. Really appreciate that. Let's go ahead and talk about the late Pick 5 as I go ahead and bring that up. Now, before I bring up the PPs, I just looked at the weather, literally, just a second ago. They have some severe thunderstorms coming through Saratoga right now as we speak. It looks like it's going to clear out in an hour or two. And then there is a chance for rain tomorrow. They have a cold front coming through. You know how Saratoga is. It's going to rain there at times. So, of course, I'm going to give you turf and dirt picks for tomorrow. Uh, the last time I gave you turf and dirt picks was Saturday night when we cashed. Sunday we hit the pick five here on the show. It didn't pay a huge amount. It was like $270. But as I tweeted out, not only did we hit it on the show, but all A selections were only $12. You could have played the late pick five on Sunday using my picks right here on the HHH Racing podcast. If you used the only A's in an ABC ticket, it would have cost you $12. That's it. $12 and it hit for 270. So I had it a few times because I always press up with my all A selection. Hopefully you hit that pick five on Sunday. Had a few rough beats the first few days of the meet with my pick fives. But listen, as I've talked about before, pick fives are not easy. It's like baseball. If you're hitting 300 or even 250, somewhere around one out of three, one out of every four pick fives, you're going to profit for the meet as long as you construct your tickets correctly. You don't have to hit $10,000 pick fives to make a profit. So again, you're only going to hit pick fives, usually one out of three, one out of four, somewhere around there, even one out of five maybe. But again, if you construct your tickets correctly and you get some nice payouts, you can easily make a profit for the meet, batting, what a good baseball player's percentage is around 300. So let's go ahead and get into the pick five. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on screen as we speak. And I'd love to hear any conversations you have. I'm assuming many of you already handicapped. If you have not, this is a great show to take some notes, pay attention. And whether you've handicapped or not, I'll show the PPs, of course. As most of you know, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, opinions about anything, horse racing, or especially this pick five, stats you want to throw out there that I might not show, please make sure you comment on that live chat on the right side of the screen. We have a lot of people watching. Greatly appreciate it. Let's jump right in to the pick five sequence. So again, is this going to be on turf? Is this going to be on dirt? These races, we're not sure. There's 3 scheduled turf races. This first race, however, is a dirt race. And there are my selections. You can see on screen my A's, B's, and C's. Race 6 goes off at 3:55 Eastern Standard Time. It's 5.5 furlong, 2-year-old fillies, baby race. These are maidens. They're going, again, 5.5 furlongs, purse of 80K. As always, highly recommend you see the board. This is the first race, so you can see the board very easily. The board tells, to some extent, if there's any first-time starters that are live or not live, you might want to reconsider. So I looked at a lot of replays, and we're going to look at one replay here in a minute. My top choices, I have 2 of them, would be the 9 and 10 next Tuesday and take the back roads. Now, the one replay I want to show you actually comes from Monmouth. So next Tuesday, the 9 and morning match, morning matcha or matcha, the 2. They race against each other on June 4th, and they faced Mainstay, who is a very nice horse that just ran Saturday in the Sanford. Let's go ahead and watch the 2 and the 9. This is morning matcha and next Tuesday. They are the 3 and the 8. Next Tuesday is the 3. Morning matcha is the 8. And you can give your own opinion here. My opinion is the number 3 next Tuesday runs a better race. So you see they're going to break from the stalls right there. And you see the 3 next Tuesday broke very well. However, the number 2 Mainstay, who is an absolute monster in this race, goes up and battles with next Tuesday. Here's the 8 right here. This is the other horse that's in the race tomorrow. Jockey is asking vigorously, and she's already about 8-9 lengths back. You see, next Tuesday is also working hard to keep up there, but Mainstay, the 2, is a very nice 2-year-old who was just staked on Saturday. And you see next Tuesday just can't quite go with mainstay. You're going to see the 8 coming a little bit wide there, a little bit goofy. You see his head is cocked to the right. That's Morning Matcha. And Morning Matcha is not going to finish too far back from next Tuesday. My opinion is next Tuesday had to do a lot more dirty work there, the 3, and was up close to pretty fast pace. And you can see they finished right here. Here's next Tuesday, who's going to be the 9 tomorrow. Here's Morning Matcha, who's going to be the 2 tomorrow. Not a huge difference probably in these two horses. I would prefer a horse that shows speed. I prefer next Tuesday, who is the 9, but we're going to use both of them. I'm going to use um, morning. Actually, yeah, I'm going to use Morning Matcha as a B. Uh, the other two horses that are racing against each other tomorrow that also race against each other in their previous race is the 6, Let's Be Clear, and the 10, Take the Back Roads. I'm not going to show the replay. This is from Churchill. You can see Take the Back Roads, by the way, was really bad. Was 9-5 in this race. Meanwhile, Let's Be Clear was actually the favorite in that race at 0.9 to 1, or just right between 4 to 5 even money. By the way, I just want to mention, I think it's worth mentioning, Morning Matcha in that Monmouth race was 13.6 to 1. Meanwhile, next Tuesday was only 4 to 1. To me, that does matter. It is, you can't always say, well, next Tuesday was bet a lot heavier, therefore she's the better horse. Not necessarily, but I think it's worth mentioning. You can make your own conclusions on that. Anyway, Let's Be Clear did beat Take the Back Roads. Barely. It was a blanket finish. Again, I'm not going to show the replay. Take the Back Roads, though, did, I thought, run better, in my opinion. Did a little more of the dirty work. Meanwhile, Let's Be Clear came from a little bit further back and sort of took advantage of a pace duel. Again, in my opinion. You'll have to watch your own replays. You can decide. I'm going with, I think, the two best speeds of the race. I'm going with the 9 and 10 as A's. Just want to mention, if the number 13, Mystic Eyes, gets in, she's very dangerous. She's by McLean's Music, who's a very fast horse out of a Stormcat mare. So if Mystic Eyes gets in, to me that is definitely an AU's. By the way, this race is restricted for horses that were bought at the sale. I believe it's for 60,000 or less. I apologize, I don't have the stats there. If you're wondering where all the high-priced horses in this race, it's because this is a restricted maiden race that Saratoga has once in a while, I believe, for horses that were purchased for under a certain purchase price. It doesn't say it on there, but I believe that is the case. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm also using G Money Live for Ron Moquette and Saez, and this horse has very good works. The breeding is not great, but dialed in. It is a Stormy Atlantic mare, but I was intrigued with Saez, and I was also intrigued by the works. I have the 1 as a B. I have the aforementioned Let's Be Clear for Madacat Stables and Gaffleon also as a B. And I have the 8, Solib. This is a Rudy Rodriguez first-time starter, who's not great with his firsters, but it's a Pharaoh, majestic perfection on the dam side. She hasn't been working that fast, but I would use her also. It's Rosario. So again, I think you have to spread in this race. I would like 9 and 10, and I would definitely use the 13 also, but you have to go pretty deep. We have a lot of comments. Let's see what we've got here. One of my great viewers, C Money. Absolutely time to play. Thanks for joining the show. Richard Flax has a stat. Moquette, who trains the 1, 6 for 15. Two-year-old first-time stars, dirt sprints. Excellent. Yes, size is up. I agree with everything you said on there, Richard. My only concern is the post is not a good one. The rail is not a good place to be, of course, for babies going 5.5. C Money, thanks for the information. I was close. It is $45,000 buy or less. Paul Halloran, Paul, thanks for joining the show. See, this is the interesting part. Moquette, though, is 0 for 14 at Saratoga. So again, here's one stat that Richard likes from Moquette, right? And there's a negative stat from Paul. So again, you got to make these decisions, but I appreciate the viewers. A viewer that I don't recall hearing this name too often, Alex, thanks for joining the show. Alex Condiff, watching the show. Thank you very much for joining the show. He's got a tip for everyone in race 4, which we're not going to cover. He likes coinage. We also have another viewer in Opva. In the house. I agree. Thanks for joining the show. This is great. We've got some new viewers, some new people in the chat. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button there on the bottom right hand side of the screen. I love getting our new viewers. Thanks for joining the show, everyone. Let's go ahead and move on to the next race of the card. I'm going to go ahead and switch my banner. This is one of 3 races that are scheduled for the turf. Again, who knows what it's going to be tomorrow. We're going to go through these other races a little more quickly. So I spent a little more time on that than I wanted. Inner turf, mile and 16th. Again, scheduled for the turf. We'll see what happens. 40 claimers restricted, non-winners at 2. I am 95% positive if it goes to dirt, it'll be a mile and 1/8, 2 turns. Again, if anyone has more detailed information, please let us know. But I believe if they switch that to dirt, it's going to be a 2-turn mile and 1/8 race. Let's talk about my turf choices first. On turf, I have 2 A's. The 10, Win Dioro for Cassie and Castellano. And the 12, who would be my top choice, by the way, Gimme Some Mo. There's not a ton of early speed in this race. We know how speed plays. I love Irad, of course. He can be aggressive when he needs to. This horse got a 1-1 early time for him. He's going to have to show speed from this spot, no matter if it's turf or dirt. But we're talking about turf right now. He's got some big back numbers. I'm not a huge fan of this horse dropping down in for 40 for Todd. Todd's numbers are mixed on this type of drop down, but the horse has got a ton of back class, uh, good buyers, and also will show speed, which I like. The other horse I'd use is the 10, Win Oro, also dropping down from allowance. Again, in for the 40. And this horse costs 650,000. So connections are. This horse has been disappointing for the connections, obviously. But again, dropping down from allowance company in Kentucky has been working steadily. This is Gary Barber. They're in it to win it. These would be my top 2 choices on turf. My B's would be the 9 Prefect, who has better numbers in the 80s consistently, but my major concern in the 9 is there's not a ton of early speed in this race, and this horse looks like a dead closer. Dead closers right now in New York on the turf are not a good bet. I have a ton of respect for George Arnold. Obviously, this horse can win. Some given the ground might actually be good because this is a German bred. I know the horse didn't run well on yielding, but that was when he was a 2-year-old. I have a feeling if the turf is wet, you might want to move up the 9. However, I do not like deep closers, but this horse can obviously win. And the 7, another dropper, Absam for Maker. The reason why this horse is not an A for me, I don't like no works. Maker is not work his horses too fast, but this horse has no works at all in the last month. Coming in from Churchill, obviously can win, has got numbers, has been facing tougher. The work situation bothered me a little bit. Maybe I'm overlooking it. I don't know. But I'm dubious if a horse has not worked or shown any public works in a month and is dropping down. So I would also use the 7 as a B. And then as a C, I would use Devilish Mood. Again, this is all on turf. Blinkers on, should show more speed for Franco. Is a consistent type and a recent claim for Ray Handel. Let's very quickly talk about dirt. Now, if it's on dirt, we don't know what's going to happen with scratches. I can speculate. I like Absam, the 7, a lot more. Shouldn't say a lot more, but I do like this horse on dirt. You see he's got dirt numbers that are easily good enough to win. This horse could be very tough if it's switched to the dirt. And then I'd still use the 12, Give Me Some Mo, who's got plenty of dirt numbers, and I'd also throw in the 16 primetime player as a possible A. This horse is slower. However, it's Moquette. It's a ghost zapper who loves the wet and is improving. So the 16 might be a bigger price on dirt, but this horse is working well. I think the 16 might be a bit interesting if it's on dirt. So again, you'll have to see what the weather looks like and see what the scratches are. Your guess is as good as mine. We'll see what happens with that. Wow, we got so many comments. We have a lot more comments tonight. Jay is here tonight. Jay, thank you very much. He said, I'm not going to use the 2 in the 7th race. Let's go ahead and take a look at it, Jay. Uh, Hold on a second, Jay. The 2, that would be in this race, correct? Yes, it would be. Uh, Fair-haired boy. I don't get it. Help me out, Jay. What is there to like about the 2? I guess the horse could improve with the distance. Second off the layoff. Okay, I see it. Lightly raced. Sure, you could throw the 2 in there. I would throw the 2 maybe as a C. There's a lot of other horses that seem more classy to me if it's on turf. But, listen, I would never blame you for throwing in a price there. I think the horse is a little bit cheap. Let's see, who else here? Again, there's a lot of, I'm not going to show everyone's chat. Brian Montgomery. Brian, I agree with you. Obviously, that can be a big negative. Horse has not worked in a month. That's the maker horse. We'll see what happens. Horsey Dave is also in the show. C Money with an updated weather. There's definitely a chance of thunderstorms. He's up there. So, C Money, are you in Saratoga? If you're actually in Saratoga, I'd be very jealous. I would agree. I'm leaning towards them being off tomorrow. The weather actually is going to be a lot nicer the rest of the week. Just to let you know. So we'll see. I would agree that they're probably going to be off the turf. Let's go on to the next race. Again, we have a lot of people watching the show. Really appreciate it. Love all the comments. That's what makes the show great. Let's go on to race 8. Again, race 8. There are my selections. You can take a look at them, whether it's off turf or on the turf. So I go ahead and switch to race 8. Race 8 is a turf sprint, 5.5 furlongs, again, scheduled for the turf. State bred, 3 and up, optional 45, non-winners of 2, other than. If it's on turf. If this is on turf, to me, there's only 2 horses you really need as your main plays. Shiraz is a game veteran, 370,000. Like Shiraz quite a bit, very consistent, always runs his race, has a good post. I don't like 4 for 38 on the win end, but he's very honest, consistent. I would use the 6. My top choice, and I'm assuming the morning line favorite and the favorite when it goes off would be the 12 Fast Getaway. Very fast horse early, blinkers on. Not a huge fan of the horse in for 45, but has also already passed his condition, so he has to be in for the 45. I could use this horse as a lone A, depending on the size of my ticket. Faced some good ones in Battle Station and Shaky Shabazz last time. Has been in open company. This horse is not going to be 5-2. I'm guessing Fast Getaway, if it's on turf, is going to be 7-5. This would probably be my lone A if it was on turf. We'll have to see what happens there. I would also consider using the 10, 3 Outlaws, a little bit slower on the buyer figures, but I would use this horse. I have as a B right now. It might downgrade to a C. We'll see. No pun intended. And the 7, Analyze This and That. This is a bit of an unexposed horse who can show a lot of speed. Dylan Davis. I always like horse that can show speed, but again, this horse looks slower on the buyers. I'd use as a B or perhaps even a C, again, depending on my ticket construction. I just want to also mention 2 other horses. The 5, Swashbuckle, who is, again, only a 3-year-old and seems to be an up-and-comer, but again, looks a little bit slower than others, although is working well. The 5 I can move up to a B instead of a C. The 5 is an interesting horse to me, but again, the 12 and or the 6 do look better. And also, I just want to mention the 1 as a C. Discretionary Mark, another game veteran. Looks like he'll come a little bit off the pace, but again, looks slower. So if it's on turf, I think it's mainly 12, a little bit of 6, then you can use others. If it's on dirt, again, hard to say what's going to happen. It looks like they'll be off. I think you have to use the 8 Steve mentioned if it's on dirt. This is a very fast horse early. Obviously has very good dirt numbers, 3 for 4 in the money on dirt. I'd use the 9, Gandy Dancing. This is a second time off the layoff for Chad Brown and Franco. Will be coming a little bit off the pace. And then I'd also use the 1A on the outside. This is a main track only Bronx Bomber for Rudy, blinkers on, can stalk and show speed. Those would be my top A's if it's on dirt. Again, you can see the rest of my selections there on the screen. We'll have to see what happens. Let's see here. C Money just said, you live close by. Oh, you work at the track, C Money. Fantastic. I wish I could make it up there this summer. I don't think I'll be able to, C Money. Next year, I practically promised a few people I'll be at Saratoga. But again, if you want to visit C Money, people are not going to know what you look like. I don't think you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you do, you probably got a few muscles on you. But anyway, but he works by. You can just ask for C Money at the Paddock Mutual Bay, and you can find him there. All right, let's go on to race 9. Now, this race I have a lot more interest on than some of the others. Not that the others aren't interesting, but there's a horse in this race that I really like a lot, and I'm glad he's back. And that horse, let's talk about the race first. It's a 1.125 dirt race, optional $100,000 claimers. Now winners of 3 lifetimes. This is a $110,000 purse. This is practically a grade 3. Any other track, any other time of year, this could probably be a grade 3 stake race. It's a small field, but there is one horse I want to mention right out of the gate. And that horse is Forza d'Oro for Bill Mott. Forza d'Oro really ran 2 huge races last year as a 3-year-old. One an allowance race and then won the Discovery. And I had him that day at a little over 3-1. Got a 101 buyer. And I thought at that point he could be any kind. I thought there's a chance they'd throw him down to, to the Pegasus in California. Long story short, let me go ahead and put myself on camera here full for just a second. Forza d'Oro had a little bit of an ankle issue. This horse has had some issues in his career, which is a real shame because, again, I think he can be any kind. He had a little minor ankle surgery, and they had to lay him off for quite a bit. This is a very talented horse, but do you want to take a short price on a horse coming off a minor ankle surgery and off since November? Not for me as an A. And so that's why you see I have this horse, as you can see on screen there, as a B. But obviously, this horse can win for Bill Mott. I just think it's hard to come back off this layoff going a 1.125. If Forza d'Oro passes this test and runs well, my guess is this horse is going to go on to the Woodward or the Jockey Club Gold Cup. And it would not shock me at all if this horse is a player in the Breeders' Cup Classic if he comes back strong and wins tomorrow. Again, I think this is a very talented horse. We'll see. My top choices, though, are going to be the 1 Westwell Power, who's going to get a great trip on the inside for Kelly Breen. This is a 4-year-old, second start off the layoff, is improving and fits. Also, 1 on Slop Big Time at Keeneland in the spring. And also the 3 highest honors. A 5-year-old for Chad Brown, who also has numbers that fit. Raced well last time. Did get the benefit of a hot pace last time. But again, no reason why this horse cannot win. Again, I'd use Forza d'Oro as a B only because of the layoff concern. And then as a C, I would use the 7 American Dubai. This horse is in for 100,000. Is an 8-year-old. 2 things I don't like, but looks to be the speed of the speed. I'm assuming Cohen is going to send hard. If this horse somehow gets loose, I don't think he's impossible, but I don't think he classes up to the 3 inside horses, especially the 1 and 3. What's your opinion in this race? What do you think of Forza d'Oro? Should I be using this horse as an A? It's a good conversation to have. What price will Forza d'Oro be? I'm guessing Forza d'Oro, he's 9 to 5 in morning line. I think he'll be I'm going to say 7-5. I would not put an A horse at 7-5 coming off this layoff. Obviously, the horse can win. Horsey Dave. Horsey Dave, thanks for joining the show. Horsey says the one is getting 6 more pounds. I've never been a huge weight guy. Let's take a look at that. That well, you said 6 more pounds. That's 6 more pounds than the last time he ran. That's true, but really he's only has to carry 2 more pounds than Forza Dioro. Um, so again, I'm not. That doesn't bother me too much. I've never been a huge weight guy. That's just my opinion. 2 pound difference doesn't matter too much to me. Again, you just asked me about the weight question. C Money asked about Empty Tomb. I don't think Empty Tomb is going to be on the lead. C Money, I think American Dubai is going to be on the lead. I don't think Empty Tomb is good enough to beat the inside three. If the 7 doesn't break, I suppose Empty Tomb can get loose. It's a horse I've been wrong before with, but we'll see. It sure looks to me like the 5 and 7 are going to go, but we'll see. In Jay's opinion, he would say the 2 will be favored. And the B, he said a B might be a little light. Okay, if you want to use as an A, go ahead. It might be a mistake for me. Again, I'll see how my ticket is constructed. Let's go on to the last race. Again, I try to keep these to only about half an hour, and we're already on to we haven't gotten the last race yet. So there's the last race as I go ahead and switch my picks. I again appreciate everyone joining the show tonight. This is another race that's scheduled for turf. Will most likely be on dirt. It's 5.5 furlongs scheduled for turf. State breds, 40 claimers. If it's on turf, I think you only need one. Fast Gordon, to me, lays over the field if it's on turf. Dropping down from Maine's special. Ran a nice race last time. A high 60 buyer will absolutely get the job done. There's not much. I would use a lot of others as C horses, but if it's on turf, there's not too much to say for me. Fast Gordon would be my lone A. If it's on dirt, I would use the 3, Damilano, as an A. I liked the jump up and slop last time to a 66 buyer, showing more speed. Saez, Jimmy Bond, 2 for 4 already at the meet. Barn is doing great. The horse is improving. I would also use the 4 if he stays on turf. The horse on the bottom side has dirt breeding, and on the bottom side is by a grand slam mare. I don't know if this horse is going to stay on dirt, but if he does, I'd probably use this horse as an A. I'd also use the 5 as an A if it's on dirt. Baba Graham. Again, this is a City Zip and a Storm Cap mare. I would assume the horse could probably handle dirt. Most importantly, the horse has a lot of early speed, which I would like in the slop. And then I would also have to use the 1A, which is a first-time star for David Donk, who's got some dirt breeding on the bottom, has been working okay on dirt. Gaffleone. Again, you'd have to take a look at the board, which actually we're not going to see the board. Sorry. We'll see if the 1A is in the race, but this horse interests me a little bit if it's on dirt. But I'd mainly go 3-4. Again, it's hard to say, folks. We don't know if the race is going to be on turf or dirt, and we don't know what the scratches would be if it's on dirt. So again, it's a little bit hard to handicap this far advanced these races that could come on or could come off. Brian Montgomery likes the 7 in the last race. So good luck to you, Brian, in that last race there. I always show a caveman ticket. However, again, when the weather is shaky and there's all these possible changes, I don't want to show a caveman ticket because it might be completely different from what I'm going to usually play. So again, apologies. I'm not showing a caveman ticket on days where it looks like the weather is going to have a huge effect. Now, the weather the rest of the week looks pretty good, especially Wednesday and Thursday. So hopefully we'll be on turf for many of the days the rest of the week. I think that is going to take care of it here. Are there any other questions or comments? No, I think we're going to be good. So anyway, as I showed you on the show, let me just show that one more time of what's coming up on the show here. Again, tomorrow we are going earlier than normal. So listen, crush that Saratoga pick 5, grab dinner, come back to the show. We'll just do it all over again. We'll hit it again. Again, we're going early tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then Thursday, our regularly scheduled show, that'll be with Craig Johnson at 8 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Pick 5 at the Spa at 9:30. And then Friday and Saturday night, scheduled right now at our regular time, 9 p.m. Eastern, just like tonight for Pick 5s at the Spa. Last thing I want to mention, I don't have a banner for it yet. Make a mental note. I put it out on Twitter. Next Monday night, we're going to have a really special show. I think we need to support horse racing. I'm going to have a show to benefit the PDJF, the Permanent Disabled Jockeys Fund. I'm going to have the board president. I'm going to have former jockeys on the show, maybe a current jockey. This is going to be next Monday. I'll send out more information through Twitter. But next Monday night, mark your calendars for a special show to benefit the PDJF with some hopefully current jockeys and former jockeys, along with board members to promote a great cause, the PDJF. Please join me next Monday. But we got a lot of other shows before then. All right, just looking at that, it's going to take care of it, folks, as we are over the allotted time that I'd like to have. Thank you very much for joining me on the show tonight. Pick 5 at the Spa. This has been episode 60 of the HHH Racing Podcast. I've been your host, Howard Kravitz. Let's make it 2 days in a row and crush that late Pick 5. Thanks for joining me tonight. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, a little earlier than normal, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another Pick 5 at the Spa. Take care, everyone. Have a great night.